All my life I had to be patient. Like Meek Millie, I was dream chasing. Finger to the Lord when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby.
Yo, what's good, man? CamJNetwork back with another banger, man. Y'all already know the vibes, man. Sorry but not sorry, boxing talk. You already know. Before we get started with the video, make sure y'all hit that like button, hit that hype button, comment, subscribe, and share the video to help us in the algorithm on YouTube, man. It will surely be appreciated for sure. And just another reminder, too. Every Wednesday, we live, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sorry but not sorry, Boston Talk Wednesdays, man. I got another crazy show set for Wednesday, man. So definitely remember, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Sorry but not sorry, Boston Talk Wednesdays. We'll be live, man, and cooking up crazy, man. So you already know the cook up be real always. So let's get started with this video, bro. Of course, it's fight week, man. It's fight week for the bull, Mr. Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez, man. So they're fighting this Saturday, January 31st in New York in Madison Square Garden. And me personally, it's been a little bit light, man, for us the promo and everything. Of course, us hardcore fans, we talking about the fight, but it's not translating over to the casuals. And it's no, you can see if you see the ticket sales, you will see what I'm saying. But we're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. But in recent timing, Shakur Stevenson had an interview that dropped this morning on the Last Stand podcast with my guy Brian Custer that I wanted to cover and go over, man, in particular, man. Got a couple of clips from it, and let's go ahead and get into the first Dom.
Truthfully, I am a superstar. Like I'm born superstar. I've been trying to run from it my entire career, but at the end of the day, you gotta. I finally just know now. Step in my shoes, and enjoy it. This is what God wants for me, and I gotta follow God's path. My ultimate goal this year in the ring is conquer. I want to conquer. I want to make as much money as possible. I want my legacy to be defined by me taking risks, doing challenges that people don't do in this sport. There's a lot of people in my position that they sit at 135, but they wouldn't dare go to 140 and fight the guy that's the guy. They wouldn't dare take that risk. So I just want my legacy to be defined by a guy that took risks and wasn't scared to put it all on the line and still got the job done.
All right, man. All right, Shakur Stevenson. Y'all already know what I love to say, man. Walk with me, talk with me, man. Now, you see in that clip, Shakur Stevenson, he speaks about, um, how he wants to be defined in his career. He wants to make the most money. Interesting, he said that first, saying that he want to make the most money, which is I've been telling y'all. These guys, they are prize fighters. They there for the biggest bag as possible, man. And we know Shakur Stevens in the recent time, he been on trying to get guaranteed bags. You know what I'm saying? This is his first pay-per-view fight with Teofimo Lopez. This is his first big, arena fight, far as Madison Square Garden. And with that being said, him speaking about him taking risks, is this really a risk? That's the question I have. Like, is fighting Teofimo a risk? I mean, yeah, it's a risk because definitely you can lose. You know what I'm saying? And depending on how the fashion, you lose in, whether your stock go down if you were to lose. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's a risk. For as reputation, etc. For sure, as far as that aspect of it. But everybody got Shakur Stevenson watching T.O. Majority of what I've been seeing. You know what I'm saying? Even with, Vegas. Vegas, I already spoke about this on the show recent time. They got Shakur Stevenson and Teofimo Lopez widespread. They got Shakur minus 20 to Teofimo plus 230. You know what I mean? So Vegas got this fight as a widespread. A lot of people believe that Teofimo Lopez doesn't have nothing coming for Shakur Stevenson. So that's why I posed the question: is this really a risk? You know what I mean? We know Teofimo hasn't stopped anybody at 140 pounds since he's been there. You know what I mean? His power didn't rise up from 135 to 140 when he was stopping guys at 135. He hasn't stopped anybody at 140. You know what I'm saying? And then we already know in recent time with Teofimo Lopez as well, he's been very inconsistent in certain fights. He gets up for fights like Lomachenko and Josh Taylor, but don't get up for the guys like Sandor Martin and Steve Claggett, which that's on his own fault in reality. You know what I mean? That ain't on Shakur or anybody else. So in reality, like I said, is this really a true risky fight for Shakur Stevenson? Is he really taking risks? I mean, because we look at Shakur Stevens' resume, he's never been the guy that, been in 50-50 fights. This is his first real, in my opinion, 50-50 fight, a fight that he can really lose. Shakur hasn't been in a fight to where all of us in the boxing culture, believe he can lose. It wasn't Zepeda. It damn sure wasn't no damn Artem. Edwin De Los Santos was probably the closest, and we know what happened in that performance. Shit, it damn sure wasn't no damn Yoshino. It wasn't Oscar Valdez. It wasn't Conceição. It wasn't no damn Jamal Herring. It wasn't Nakathila. He hasn't been in no 50-50 fights. He hasn't been in a fight where he had to take risks 100%. Probably had an opportunity with Aberville, but his team turned it down. Yeah, that would have been taking risks fighting Aberville when Top Rank was trying to get Shakur Stevenson to fight Aberville, but they didn't want to take that risk on Shakur Stevenson fighting Aberville. So is Shakur Stevenson really taking risks? That's why I said I question that. Truly do. And we already know Shakur is on record saying that he's the guy that put this fight together and pushed for this fight to happen with him and Teofimo Lopez in recent time. So, like I always say, a guy may be willing to push for this, but he ain't willing to push for another situation. A situation that he called beforehand the biggest fight in boxing. Yeah, so I got another clip. Let's get to this next clip right here. And we're going to cook from here.
Do you believe we will finally see Shakur Stevenson and Tank Davis in 2026?
Fuck him. Fuck him. I don't even want to speak on him. I don't got too much to say about him.
Tell me why. Where is that heat come from?
I don't talk on people who feel as though I need them, because I don't need nobody. I'm a big superstar in my own right. I make a lot of big money in my own right, and I don't need nobody. So yeah, I'm gonna speak on him.
Okay. So Shakur Stevenson says F Tank Davis, he don't want to speak on him. Now, this one thing I want to say about that in particular. Why did he just say from the jump, like, yo, I don't want to talk about Tank? Nah, we ain't talking about Tank. I'm here to talk about Teofimo Lopez, and that's it. That's what I expect from Shakur Stevenson if he's really not trying to talk about Tank Davis. But, as he says, I don't want to talk about him, he goes on to talk about him. Right. So it goes back to what I be saying with these guys. These guys always using Tank name into promoting their fights. They've been doing it for a long fucking time, dog, and they still continue to do it in 2026. We just seen it with Keyshawn Davis, him talking about knocking out Tank Davis, and talking about Tank Davis wanted to fight him after they sparred, which we already exposed that was a lie. Because we got a whole interview with Keyshawn Davis years ago saying that Tank Davis made that man readjust and his fighting style, and he became more defensive in a style that he never fought before. So we exposed that lie. We already seen several interviews with Shakur Stevenson talking about Tank Davis, talking about just the biggest fight and everything. Like we ain't see it in around when he just fought Zepeda this past year. Right after the fight, who was he talking about? Tank Davis. Do I gotta remind y'all?
Performance tonight against Williams Zepeda at Louis Armstrong Stadium. Just sum up to me the thoughts, feelings right now.
I'm happy. I'm satisfied. I gotta go back to the drawing board and still work on some things, but Zepeda pushed me.
Yeah. I mean, it seemed like you were having fun in there. I know you were talking to Eddie, you were looking at everyone smiling. Was it a case of, you were just enjoying it and having fun?
Yeah, I was trying to enjoy the moment. I try to have as much fun as possible. I try to still stay focused on the job. But yeah, it was a hell of a night.
Taking pictures.
Yeah. Was there anything that surprised you from Zepeda, would you say? In terms of power, punches, etc.?
How steady he was. He wanted to win that fight really bad. So
He almost knocked you out.
no, he did not. Girl, is you crazy? But he was steady. He kind of just kept coming. So he was tough. He put in a lot of work tonight too, so I give respect to him.
Talk about the atmosphere there at Louis Armstrong Stadium. Newark, they showed out in Queens today.
Yo, it was too hot in that stadium. Y'all gotta chill. Put me back in the stadium with AC. I want some AC, man.
Yeah. What's next, would you say, if you know?
What's next? I told you I want the biggest fight in boxing. Y'all already know what I want, so let's make it happen.
Yeah.
All right.
Do I need to say any more? Like he says he don't need Tank Davis in particular. And I know why he says that. He says that more so in particular because of the fact that Tank, basically downplayed him and said like shit. Like he gonna make that boy starve. You know what I'm saying? Tank said that boy gotta go get a bag somewhere fucking elsewhere, which is I don't agree with Tank saying that shit. I already told. I think with Tank saying that shit, I think it's bullshit. Everybody in the world wants this fight. Go ahead and get this shit going. Which Tank and already did, push for this fight to happen in 2024. And we already know what happened. That boy Shakur Stevenson went on to Matchroom Boxing that he wanted a multi-fight deal while PBC was trying to get him to fight in a one-fight deal versus Tank Davis, and he wanted a multi-fight deal. And what did he do? He went and took a two-fight deal with Matchroom Boxing. So we already exposed that whole bullshit already as well. That's been exposed. We knew that Shakur Stevenson didn't want to fight Tank Davis in 2024. We knew that him and his team was trying to build leverage and build his profile so they can get into negotiations and try to garner whatever they want in negotiations in a fight with Tank Davis. So we already seen this from them in recent times, which they've done a horrible job by doing so too. By the way, just if I want to add more context, building a profile, fighting Kid Austin, then the fight doesn't happen, then you fight Padley. That was a worse fight than it was with Kid Austin, that wasn't Shakur's fault. But at the same time, you chose that man. You chose that man. Then you got to the Zepeda situation, that's the fight what was cool. People wanted to see that because they wanted to see Zepeda's pressure versus Shakur. And that was your mandatory. Nobody had an issue with that fight in particular. But I'm just saying, is he really pushing for the biggest fights? No, he hasn't shown me he's pushing for the biggest fight because he ain't pushed for a Tank Davis fight 100% because all he does is just yap his mouth and call out motherfuckers. But when negotiations was to happen, the boy Shakur, he ran from the negotiations. His team didn't even want to sit down at the table with PVC and Tank Davis. But he says he don't need Tank Davis. I think it sounds like a little bit of more like Bud Crawford and them guys in that boy ear. They trying to do the same shit that Bud did with Earl Spence. And that shit, I told y'all before, we talked about this plenty of times. That shit ain't gonna work on Tank Davis. Tank Davis ain't that naive as Earl Spence was. He's not just gonna be giving Shakur what he wants. And then it goes off of your market value too. And we know the market value of Shakur ain't that crazy. Shakur the same guy that still went to a purse bid was the pay them. Stars, a lot of superstars ain't going in no fucking purse bids, I'll tell you that. And he's talking like he's a big name, a big draw and everything. And it hasn't translated into this fight that he has coming up for this Saturday with Teofimo Lopez. As far as the tickets, still a lot of available tickets for Saturday, and we 5 days away. Today, Monday. Saturday be here as soon as you know it. And I told y'all we want this fight to be successful, but the promotion and the buzz around this fight is only for the hardcore fans. It's not translating to the casuals. If I'm lying, I'm flying. You know what I'm saying? You know me, I'm Mr. Receipts. You know what I'm saying? We keep receipts for all of this type of shit. You know what I'm saying? Shakur's talking about he's a superstar and said he's the big draw, he's the big name. This is your first pay-per-view fight right here. This is Ticketmaster right here. Lot of blue. Lot of tickets to be sold right here. And this is Ticketmaster. I like to go even further. We got StubHub. If y'all want to go even further, y'all can go to all these sites, Vivid Seats, SeatGeek, all of this shit. You're going to see a lot of seats available for Saturday night versus with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson. Vivid Seats, man. You know what I'm saying? We this is what's happening. If you are the biggest star and you a big draw, you wouldn't have all of these available seats for your fight this Saturday. And this is at Madison Square Garden. We already know you can copped out the 300 tickets and everything for the kids in New Jersey. That's great. Y'all gonna be copping out a lot of more tickets coming up this week, it look like. And it was a bad timing because of the fact that it's bill week for people. People just had Christmas, New Year's Eve. Then, in certain areas you probably snowed out, so you probably spent a lot of money on, being snowed in the house this past weekend. Then you got your bills coming up this week, rent, gas, electric, all of that. It's nasty work, man. It's nasty work. And Shakur is the one saying that he's a draw in the star, where all of these tickets available doesn't show that you are a big draw and superstar, my guy. You make this make sense. And you saying you don't need Tank Davis. I always tell people in boxing, it takes two to tangle. Teofimo isn't a significant name like Tank Davis. He's not a draw like that as well, just like you are, Shakur. This is Teofimo's first pay-per-view fight as well. Both you guys came from Top Rank. And they didn't make y'all or build y'all into no pay-per-view stars. Obviously, some reasons. T.O., he messed up his image with, the racist, shit and everything. But at the same time, y'all both in never main event for as pay-per-view ever, besides this fight coming up January 31st. So we'll see. It's gonna be a great fight. I believe in general with these two guys. I'm definitely intrigued to see, how these two guys, mix it up in there this Saturday. But the promo's been ass. Turkey ain't spending a lot of money on promotion and shit like he did beforehand when he was doing the little intros and all of that back in the day. Like last year and shit. He ain't doing that anymore. I told y'all that Saudi money a little bit limited now, bruh. And it's been showing. You know what I'm saying? It's showing. But I hopefully everybody get out to support this fight this Saturday. If you're in the East Coast area, man, New York, Jersey, support this fight, man. If you able to. If you at home watching it, support the pay-per-view. Support these guys, man, this Saturday. We definitely want to see these guys do well and the ticket sales well because it helps the business when the events are full and you're doing great live gates and great pay-per-view numbers. You wanted to do well, and that's why we talk about these fights and push for these fights in general. But right now, it's not looking well. You know what I'm saying? Going into fight week, just honestly speaking, man. And Shakur, don't talk about Tank in none of your interviews. If somebody asks you to talking about Tank, tell them I don't want to talk about Tank. Next question. It's that simple. It's that easy. But Shakur never does that. He always continues to talk. Why? Because that boy's trying to promote his fight. He want to use Tank name to promote his fight per usual, like the rest of these dudes always. And this nasty work, Tank ain't even fucking fighting right now. He got legal shit going on. Y'all know on my channel, y'all ain't seen much content with me talking about Tank because shit, he ain't got shit going on. What we gonna talk about? But I did find it very ironic for him to say F Tank and he don't need him when in reality you do need him. For your biggest fight in your career, you do need him. You definitely do. Oh, and I ain't forgot you said this. When you said, you'll go to PBC, you do whatever. You did whatever to make this fight with Teofimo Lopez. If the opportunity presents itself, I want to see the same energy with that other guy as well. Y'all already know the vibes, man. Y'all already know we live every Wednesday. Like, hype, comment, subscribe, and share the video to help us in the algorithm, man. Live every Wednesday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, man. Y'all already know the vibes. We out of here. You dig?
All my life I had to be patient. Like Meek Millie, I was dream chasing. Finger to the law when I see haters. Oh, the feeling when you tell your niggas we made it.